if you do not currently have an instance, if you have 2 instances, you probably are not going to have a login in both. So that would, if you go to log in and you're in the wrong one, it's going to kick you out. Let me go ahead and log in. Once you log into this system, you're going to end up going to your home page. This is considered your home page. As you can see, it has the to-do list with hyperlinks to any of your current outstanding curriculum that you have currently due. This is stating that anything due before this date. In your company's configuration, there's a set date that it shows anything due within a certain period of time, say 90 days. You can change that to anything you want. We have companies that even have it set up to be show anything due within a year. So it's on a 90-day, 60-day, whatever, how many days you want to set it to. And that is, if you're a company administrator, you can go in and change that. If you need to, does anyone need to know where that is, or would need to have that changed?
Hello.
Hello. Who am I talking to?
Hi. This is Zelia. I'm sorry.
It's okay. All I've really done so far is just log in. Let me get back out and show you what I did. I was telling them if you have more than one location set up for your particular location, you would actually hit the arrow down and pick which company that you're in. More than likely, you don't have a login in more than one place. So Evergreen, that's on the phone with us, they have 2 different companies set up, and they would probably only be able to log into one, so it will not allow you to log into the one that you don't have the credentials for. Once you log in, this is your to-do list. Every company is set to a certain number of days out that it shows any curriculum you have due within a certain period, say 90 days out. This is the curriculum that I particularly have due at the moment, with hyperlinks to each of the pieces of curriculum. In order to launch a course, all you have to do is click on the hyperlink. It takes you to your course. As you can see, it has a run course and a final test. You can actually set it up to where it doesn't allow you to click on the final test until you've actually run through the entire course. On this particular one, it'll let me bypass that and go ahead and take the final test, and if I fail it, then I can go back and take the course at a later time.
Okay.
From here, if you notice over here, this is what we call our action menu area, and no matter where you go in the system, it's going to change what your action menu items are for that particular area. Right now, I'm in the user area, which if y'all are company admins, you're going to have access to the user area. I'm going to just click on someone. If you notice, there are tabs across the top. And this is where you would make direct assignments to a user. What we generally suggest is it's easier to make assignments through a group instead of the direct assignments. That way, if a user moves in and out of a particular area in your company, they automatically get assigned anything that's assigned to the group. But if you have any just miscellaneous assignments, this is where you would go in over here, click the Add Assignment, and add anything individually you'd like them to have to their curriculum. Here, if you notice, is where you can go in and you can go under View Schedule under your Action menu, and it'll show you what the retake months are for the courses. These retake months are set at the course level. You can't change them in a user's curriculum. You have to go to the course to change the retake months. And that will make a system-wide change where everyone in the whole system has that particular retake month for that course. If you needed to change the individual due date, you would do that here, but we don't suggest you change that. Usually it's set, usually it's a federally regulated time period that they need to take it, and you need to kind of go by what the schedule for that course is. Let me go in and show you what I mean by assigning by group. When you set up your tree like this is your company's name, and these are subgroups under it. If you notice across here, say you were set up at the very main branch of your tree, like Joe Admin is here. You can go in and assign assignments to the entire company, say Big Star. It'll let you choose whether you want to do it below the group, which is not directly a big star, but everything below that, the group only, which is the main branch, or the group and everything below it. You set it here, and then if people move in and out of that particular location in the company, then they automatically either get it removed or added depending upon when they get changed to that area in the company. And you go a little further down in the branch to show you what it looks like when you go further. This is an accountant, and if you look, there's actually a track called accountant that anybody in the group and down is going to be assigned whatever's in this track. If they get moved into accounting, they're automatically assigned these assignments. Let me go into the track and show you what those assignments are. So here you go. These are the actual courses and or equivalencies that this particular location in the company automatically inherits when they go into the accounting division of the company. And I'm going to go back to where I was. Again, that was the assignment that was made to this particular area. And if you go to inherited, you can actually see where this is the main company, so they automatically inherit this these courses, and by being in accounting and financing, they get this track with these courses. Everybody following along? Is it making sense?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was good.
Awesome. Another way you can actually assign curriculum as well is through a role. And that's if you have a particular, say you're the response team leader, you can make assignments through a role as well, not directly at a group level. And you can actually go to the user section and see who all in that role has those assignments. Apparently this one has no assignments attached to it. But if a person moved in and out of that role within the company, they would automatically end up getting any assignments that are a part of that role. Let me go to the users, and I'll show you how you can see. If you go to View Curriculum over here, again in your Action menu area, it'll show you if this particular person was assigned it through a role, it would be under this section. If it was assigned through a direct group in the company, it would show you exactly anything they had assigned to them. This person was apparently a part of Big Star and the corporate services. And these are any direct assignments. This is going to be a track. That's what this little symbol is. And these are the courses or equivalencies that are attached to this direct assignment.
Are there any limitations to the number of roles someone can have?
No, not at all. All you would do is go in here and add that role to that individual. As many as you want. You just go add role, select however many you want. Make sure at every screen you hit the save button. If you don't hit save, we've had a lot of people that call in and go, I know I assigned it to someone, but it's not there right now. It's because you probably didn't hit the save button. You can go in and hit add role. It'll populate in that area. I'll show you. And make sure you hit use selected down here. It'll look like it's there, but until you hit save, it is not actually there. So you'll see it comes up here and says changes saved. So it's a very robust system. You can use it quite easily. You don't have a lot of maintenance if you go in and set things at the group levels. Just know that the only way you know the different ways that a user has things assigned is you have to go into that view curriculum under that user. These are the different, we call these widgets. They're over here on your left-hand side. Here's the news item. If you have information that you want to go and make sure everybody knows, you can set up a news item. Make sure that you, I can remove these. I can move them around easily. And you can actually minimize them as well.
Can
But if
you
you
track
ever
that
need to go, what
Can
was
you
that?
track that they've been viewed?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Can you track that they've been viewed if we put a news item out there and we want to make sure it's been viewed?
No, no, not currently. Let me make a note of that and see if we can add that to our new version that we're working on. Sorry, I want to make a note of that. And as you can see, you go over here to the information and news, and that is where you can go in and set up these news items. You can actually, it'll expire, it has a time that it expires, so it won't show up any longer. You can put hyperlinks to URLs. And there's actually source code if you can go in and work in HTML, make it all pretty. Give some categories, and this is the heading. You can allow people, everybody in the company to view, or you can limit that. This is what we call our change log. You can actually see in virtually every area of the company, you can see who created it and who last modified any in particular thing. I'll go into users and show you the change log as well. There's a change log over here. It was automatically brought in by a feed, and Joe P. Admin changed it around April 25th. Okay. Group structure is very important to go in when you're setting up your company and make sure you have your group structure set up correctly. I'll show you the tree. If you notice in the tree, the highlighted individuals are going to be anyone that has any sort of administrative permission in the company. They are going to be the people that get any supervisory reporting. So if, say, you're doing a training needed report on a group of people, the people that are highlighted are going to be the people that get it for that entire area. So it's very important that you set up your organizational structure correctly. Ultimately, this person will be able to get it for everybody below, and this person will be able to get it for anybody in this particular area. So definitely take some time and effort in making sure you set up your organizational structure to where everyone that you want to get the reporting is going to be able to have access to their users. Any overdue notices will also be going to these individual people. In your company configuration, you can either set it up, you get there, to enable the email. You don't have to have it. Most of our companies are set up to have the emails for overdue notices sent out 7 days before they're past due. You would also have to go in and make sure you set up these overdue messages to either the users and or supervisors.
Can you set those up individually?
I'll get to reporting in a little bit, and I'll show you how you can set up an email report on a scheduled basis.
But the reminder piece of that, can I have a supervisor receive it after it's 3 days before it's due, and the individual receive it 7 days before it's due?
No, it's going to be right here, so it's going to be for both people the same number of days.
Okay.
Let me go into permissions for users. Y'all are probably going to be the company admins for your company, so you're going to have the ability to go in and give people permission. This is where the permissions are set. You are automatically a member of a particular location, the location that you're set up in the organizational structure. As you notice, this little box right here is grayed out. I can't change it. I can click on it all day long. It's not going to let me remove you because that is who you are set up in the company as located in that particular group. These are the particular permissions you can give. You can only give the permissions you have to someone else. So if you have credit users, you can give that permission, but if you do not have it, you cannot get it. You won't even be given the option to look at it. If you notice down here, I've added another group to this particular location. It's that's Portales front plant, but this is Pine Bluff plant. This person apparently has reporting rights to Pine Bluff plant but no other permissions. They're not a member, so they're not going to inherit the training that this particular location has. They're just going to be able to report on or get the training reports on anyone that's in that location. Does that make sense to everybody? So if you check this box and hit save, they are now getting any training that has something to do with this location. But if you leave this unchecked, they will not get any training that this particular location has. That's all that little box does. Does that make sense? Hope so?
Yep.
The credit users is a very, we don't like to give that out to very many people. This is where you can manually go in and credit people for any training that they've done. So you've done those performance evaluations, and you have to go in and actually attach documents and say this person successfully did their performance evaluation. That's where you would check this credit users box and let that person be able to credit a person. Let me go in and show you how that's done. It's under personnel and credit users. A new option that we just recently added is an advanced ability to credit users, but let me show you how to just do a regular one. This is just say for 1 or 2 people. Say I want these 2 people, and I want to say that they, it doesn't really matter, took these 2 courses. On a certain date, doesn't matter. You can also put the instructor if there's a cost. This takes the default if you leave it alone. You don't put anything in there. It'll put it whatever the course has it set as. But if it's different, you can go in here and actually add it at that location. If you had a document you wanted it to attach, you could just go pick something. And it can be an XLS. It can be a Word document. I didn't like my file. It can be any of the office items. Doesn't like what I'm doing right now. I'm using like a demo company that's not live, so it's not acting right because it's my local instance. And then you would just hit continue. At this point, you're able to actually go in and see what you've done in case you think you might have made an error. This is just a stop check to see what you've picked. And then you hit save. And it tells you did 4 records, 2 users, 2 courses, the date, the time, the pass. If you had to go in and actually remove, for people that have the edit history, which we don't like a lot of people have credit users, but anyone that edits, you could get in trouble with auditors. I've had a situation this week where someone got deleted at some point. We highly recommend not deleting unless you definitely know you made a mistake. But you can actually just say I want to look at any history records this person had, and you can go in there. If there were documents, you could see the documents. You could see who created it, modified it. And then if you need to delete it, you would hit that and then drop selected, and it would remove that particular history record from this user. Now it's going to show you how to do an advanced credit. This is if you had like multiple people with multiple documents. It's just easier. You hit this advanced one, pick a date, you can put in an instructor, any notes that you needed to add, then you can verify. It brings this up, and it'll let you actually go in and put a different document for every excuse me, user. Then once you know this particular user's was correct, you hit the credit button. At that moment, it's automatically credited for that user. If you didn't want to do the rest of these, you could just continue and say finish at this point, and it will actually give you it'll generate a download report to let you know that I was able to credit this one, but I didn't credit these other 3. And it'll give you all the information you need to know about the credit you just created. And then it'll let you return back to what you were doing. Group assignments, kind of going over. Have any of y'all gone through the system and have any questions about any areas of the system?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. You know, earlier,
Okay.
A page or 2 back, you were talking about assigning roles and basic, not roles, but assigning permissions, like for instance, admin and all that. Some of the blocks are grayed out. I know that we noticed that the SQL editor was grayed out. Is that, and we have people on site who we were told earlier perhaps could actually customize in the future what we're doing. Will overnight be able to give a person permissions to do that?
That is actually, let me see, hold on just a second. That's going to be set up, let me show you. It's right here,
Yes.
SQL editor.
Yes.
The permission under utilities, and we can give you that if you don't currently have it yet.
We don't have it, and we probably don't. Not everyone will need that, but we have a few people here that actually are capable of. They know a little bit about SQL, so in the future we might need it. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, no problem at all.
All right, thanks.
Heather, can you take me back through role versus track again?
Go over roles
I'm
again?
I'm confused, and I'm trying to make role a subset of track in my head, and that's not how it goes. Are they parallel and not in sequence?
Okay, say that again. The phone kind of broke up for a second.
I'm confused about roles versus track, and I'm trying to make one a subset of the other, but I don't think that's how the logic goes. Is a role, can it be parallel to a track? I can have a track that's related to my actual job function, like maintenance mechanic, but I may also be a member of the fire brigade. So my track would be my maintenance mechanic training, and my role would have my emergency response team fire brigade training.
Oh, the phone keeps breaking up. I think I know what you're asking, so let me kind of go over this real quick. The way things work is a course is the lowest item. There's nothing that can be below it. So everything's going to generate first off of a course. Above that, you're going to end up having equivalencies, which equivalencies are where you can take this or that. Say you have Spanish and an English version, you don't care which one they take, as long as they take one of those. So you set it up as an equivalency, saying, I don't care which one you take, it's equal to one another, so you pick which one you want. Just above that is an opt-in track. You can add courses or equivalencies to the opt-in track, and you can pick how many of the items in the track that they have to pass in order to obtain to have completed that opt-in track. Directly above that is a track where you can add the courses, equivalencies, or opt-in tracks. So above that is if you want to have a job for someone. Say they're the janitor. Their job is as a janitor. So they have any tracks, opt-in tracks, equivalencies, or courses that are part of that job. And then directly above that is a role. It's your role at the company, no matter where you move around in the company. Say you're over in, you're always going to be a director, but you could move to a different location in the company. You're going to have jobs tracks, opt-in tracks, equivalencies, and courses that move with you no matter where you are in the company. So that's going to be your role in the company, but if you move somewhere else, you're going to still keep all the items that are the jobs, the tracks, often tracks, equivalencies, and roles that are part of that role. If that makes sense.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Here's where you would make a group assignment. These are considered like not a group assignment, but assignment all at one time. Again, the group assignments are if you're in a certain location in a company and you want everyone in that location to have that particular training for that company. Here is where if you want to make a direct assignment to a group of people. So I don't want to confuse you with the group assignment. This is actually where you can do mass direct assignments. Pick several people, say these particular people. Because it can get kind of, if you know you need to have several people take something at one time and you want to make the direct assignments, but you don't want to have to go into each individual user's curriculum and have to locate them and assign them. You can actually just go to this content and then assignment, pick the users, pick the events. You have the options to either append it or replace it. And replace it means you're going to take anything they have in their curriculum away and replace it with that, whatever's selected. I would not use this unless you know what you're doing. Just leave it as the default, which is append, which means leave whatever they have there, add these to it. I'm going to continue so you can see. It gives you the option again to look back at whoever you've selected. And then there's a second tab over here, and a lot of people just don't look at it, but this is if you wanted to use a date other than what's set at the course level. If you leave it blank, it'll actually just keep the default. If I wanted to change it, I could. It gives you this little nice message so you can make sure you know what you're doing. And then it gives you just a little synopsis of what it did. Then if you wanted to alter a due date, because all these due dates are set at the course level, if you wanted to alter someone's due date, you could go to the alter due date area, pick the users, the events, and change the due date at this location. Of course, you could also go into the user's direct assignments, but this is if you want to do it on a mass scale of more than one person. Everybody hanging with me okay?
Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm kind of, in our situation, we have our monthly CBTs that, Tricia, how many people are required to take that CBT?
Every single one of them, 1,150 something.
Okay, we got 1,100 people who will be in multiple groups and multiple levels. And if we want to assign that, do we start jumping in and assigning all the groups, or how would we accomplish this? Because we're talking about 1,100 people.
If every person in the whole corporation needs to be assigned it, you
Okay.
go to the very main level.
Yeah.
What was it?
I was going to say we'll have a few exceptions, but yeah.
Just a few. This is where I would do it if it's everybody, but
Yeah.
if you had a few exceptions.
It would be much easier. It would be much easier to get rid of the exceptions than it would be the people that had to take it. We put it that
Yeah.
way.
What you could do on the people that are exceptions is go in and actually go to their due date on the user themselves and set it to a date in the future, but not too far out, because our system doesn't like it if you go too far out in the future. So say 20 years from now, you can go to those users and set them like 20 years out, and they won't be due anytime soon.
Oh, okay. So basically, you would take your exceptions. You'd set them a date out in the future, 20 years out, and then any time in the
Right.
future you're assigning a monthly CBT, then it won't come up for those exceptions.
No, I mean you have to go into each user. If you add a new course to everyone,
You have to do
you
that
have to
every
still
time.
go to- Right.
Oh, okay.
Those exceptions. Mhm.
All right. Thanks. All right.
You're welcome.
Continue and show me this, if you will.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I don't want to confuse anybody. Let me go into courses so y'all can take a look at what our system looks like with the courses.
I hate to keep on here, but I really don't think I saw how you assign to a large group of people.
Okay. I'll do that right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. This is the main group. If I wanted to add an assignment to them, I'm currently at the Big Star, the very main level, and if you're Evergreen or if you're Quicksilver, this would be considered the Quicksilver Evergreen main group. Over here on assignments, this is what the whole main group are being assigned right now. If I only wanted everybody, if I wanted everybody in the whole company to have it, this is where you'd set it at group and down. So it's basically saying your main group and anyone in any subgroups. So you would actually go over here, pick whatever course it is you want everybody to take, which right now we have, I know there's a big GHS push. You would say pick GHS and save it. And then if you wanted it to be everybody in down, you go group and down and then save it. And at that point, it's automatically going to be assigned to everyone in the whole company. It didn't take a lot of effort. And it's going to be required to take it at whatever this particular course is set at. So let me go into that particular course, 832 Fall, to show you how the actual course is set. This is the main screen. If you notice, throughout our system, everything has tabs across every location. It used to be where in our old version you had to scroll down, 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 but now it's nicely set up where you have these tabs across the top. This particular course is a run type course. We also have the ability to do AICC form. A download would be like a PDF or a PPT. An external would be like a URL type course. Register would be a class. Say if you have safety meetings a lot at your company and you need to have them where they can go in and actually register for it. So you set it as a register. Order is going to be to where it emails someone and lets them know that you need something for that particular course. Not a lot of people use that particular one. This one was a run type. Here's where you have the initial assignment. It says set the initial due date after so many number of months. So after 2 months, it's going to be due in those 2 months after it's assigned, and with a 12-month retake. You set it to 0. It'll take only once. It'll say once, and once they finish it and take it the one time, the status will change to done, and they don't have to take it ever again. The different options for the initial assignment is, of course, you have it after so many months, but then it also has it as set to a due date later this year, and it'll let you pick a date later this year, or set your due date to the next occurrence of a date. So you can go in and actually say August 30th, and it's going to be the next time August 30th rolls around, which would be next 2014 August 30th. And then at that point, they're going to have it required to take every 12 months after August 30th. You can change this to however many months you want it to be set as. For this particular type of course, you have the credit by. You can set it to the final test, which most of our courses are that way. Administrator credit is where somebody would have to go in there and actually do that credit users. And course completion is just to go through the content of the course. They don't have to take a test. And then these are some other options that you can set for the course where it hides the timer. A lot of people get antsy and they want to know where they are, how long they've been in a course. You can also disable the final until the course completion, which I mentioned before at this area. For our courses that have narration, they can't go forward until they listen to all the narration. You can set it as a slideshow mode. This is where you can actually make them take all the questions or ask the user how many questions they want to take. I'm going to go to the test tab. This links actually to the test. It's in another area of the company, which I can show you right here. It's under test. This links them, which here you can go find one. It's already attached, as you can see by the name being there. Otherwise it would say not NA. If you wanted to go pick a test, say you're making a course, it'll say you want to save, which I don't, and it'll actually bring you to the test itself. a lot of people call and ask questions about this. This is where the final, what you want them to pass the percentage at. The theme, which you can set up your own themes, and if y'all have any questions about themes, we can go over that. If they have a max number of retries, if you set this to -1, it will actually prompt for a supervisor to come and give their own administrative password to take the test. Sometimes a person has to proctor a test, so that at that point you would put this to -1 if you wanted a supervisor to be there when they actually take the test. 0 is no limit, but if you have a maximum number of retries, you would set this to, say, 3 or whatever you want, and if they take it over 3 times, they have to have supervisor's password to be able to continue on in the course for the test. Any questions about that?
Hope it looks good.
All right. If y'all have any questions, y'all can pipe in at any time. Our system is kind of set up, I'm trying to explain it the best way, where you have to like kind of think about what you're trying to teach to be able to create the courses. So basically you go in and create content based on what you want them to learn. These are the actual questions, and they have different lessons they want to be able to learn for each particular part of this course. I'm going into an actual question in the course. And this is the question it asks. The types are going to be all that apply, fill in the blanks, image target, matching, multiple choice, and true false. We're limited to 5 different choices. If you had any multimedia, you would place it in this location. And these are the teaching pages. This is where you have to go figure out what you want to be as part of your course, what you want them to learn before you create the actual course. So you go in and let me show you. These are the actual pages that they're going to go through. And as you see, this is what's on each slide. So this is a picture that goes with this particular information. And after they go through these 4 slides, they're asked the question. So you want to, when you go to create a course, you have to kind of think about what you want them to learn, and then have the pages set up to learn the information to ask the question. Does that make sense? So each one of these is a page that they see before the question is asked. What did you learn in this particular set of information? And as you see, this is the content, but if you wanted feedback for an incorrect or correct answer, you would also check these boxes. So if they got the answer correct, you can actually go in here and, notice this little SB, that's feedback. If you wanted it to, you would actually highlight and click that area. And if they got it wrong or right, it would actually, they would go forward in the course, and it would pop this particular page back up with the highlighted area to let them know the answer to the question was in this particular area of the course. This is all just one question with all the pages that are there to actually help them learn what the answer to the question is. Everybody following along okay?
Yep.
Up here, if you notice, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but this is these are hyperlinks to the last 5 locations that I've been in the last 5 places. And if you ever need to go back, you can always quickly go click on the hyperlink and you're right back to where you were before. Again, this is feedback. This is what you would say, okay, click the forward button to begin the course. I don't know how many of y'all are going to be setting up courses. These are the different, say I'm learning about falling, so there's the first section on fall hazards, the second section is on walking, third section is on preventing falls, and then here are the questions that are linked to each of those lessons. And it's easy to just add, you can click on them and move them around if you need to. You just click on them and drop them into the lessons they need to be in. Very easy. If you have any that you want to remove, you just click it and drop it down here, and they're no longer going to be a part of the course, but they're there if you need them in the future. Here's where you would set up, if they have a test and you only want them to have certain questions to be a part of the test itself, you can actually, if you have a pre-test, you would say, I want questions 1, 3, 5, 8, lesson 2 questions, whatever. And here's where you can also set it up whether they're random or if they're linear, which means, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you have them set up. And again, we have the change log if you ever wanted to know who's made any changes to the test. How many of y'all are going to be setting up tests or courses?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us are.
Oh, good. Well, do know that if y'all ever have any questions when you're doing any of this, you have both us at OSI that you can call. Another place you can go is there's this help button up here to read the manual. If you have questions and you don't want to give us a call and just want to look over anything, the second section, I believe, goes over the tests and courses and classes a little bit more. So you would just click here, and it's actual PDF. You can download it to your computer if you need to, and it'll go over any questions you have. There's even a section on to automatically import questions. There's a QST file that you can import, and it tells you how to set up the QST file so you won't have to do as much manual entry in the system, all the clicks and all that. So you can actually just put it in a QST file, upload it, and it's a lot quicker. And at that point, you can go in and drag and drop if you needed to. Classes. This is where if you had the safety classes or something and you wanted to, you can quickly credit people. So if you go in and say you set up a class and you can actually set them up as an invite, an open enrollment, or a closed enrollment. In other words, you tell them who's going to be in the class. Open is if you can send them a link to the class and they choose whether they want to pick that one or maybe another one. Excuse me. Going into the class, you can see that this is the open invite or close. Invites if you, you'll only send it to the people that you want to see it. Open is everybody in the whole system can see it. Set your max number of users, so your classroom is limited to a certain number of people, seats. A minimum users would be, the class would be canceled if only a certain number of people sign up. The number of drop days, they can't drop after, say, 7 days before the class. No add is that they can't add if there's so many days before the class. And the reminder days is the email that's sent out to remind them about the class. And it actually sends them an Outlook calendar so they can add it to their calendar. Over in this section is the scheduler. Scheduler is whoever you want to be able to go in and modify any information about this particular class, and you can give them certain, it doesn't even have to be an administrator of the system. This can be just someone that does classes, not someone that's going to be running reports on anybody. You can actually pick someone and give them whatever you want them to be able to do. The meetings, click on it. This is the instructor, so the person that you have over to receive all the information about the class that can go in and edit it. This is actually the person inside the class who's going to be running the actual class. Could be different people. We have that happen a lot. You go in and set your dates. You can have it go over could be an external instructor, not someone that actually works at your location. It could be anybody. Equipment, here's where if you want to keep up with equipment and you don't want, say, you check out a projector and it's one that multiple people have access to, and you don't want everyone to check it out at the same time. If there's a conflict, it will let you know that, I know this one's being used at that time, you can't use it. So if you go in, you can add equipment so that you can keep up with that type of thing. And this is where it'll give you any conflicts with any of the 3 before. Here's the locations. You can set the locations for the classes as well. We have customer BASF that has multiple locations, and I've had to go and add classes before where it did cause a conflict. So it's good to have that location there if, say, people are trying to do training at the same time in different locations. This is where you can see all the people that have gone in and taken the class. These people have attended. Now, if I wanted to credit them for attending at this point, because it goes from enrolled to attended, so I would actually go in and credit the students that have attended. And if I had to, I could go in and change it. They didn't pass, they passed, they didn't attend. You can actually go here, and if they didn't actually show, you can change them to no show before you actually credit them. You need to attach a document, you can attach it at that point. And if there are actual documents that had something to do with the class, you can go and add them here for either the students or the instructor. Once that class is over with and done and credited, it'll show up as inactive, and you can actually make it re-show up if you needed to, but it hides it otherwise, so you don't have to see it. So you hide classes already in the past, or you can view them all if they've happened in the past and you want to see them again. Any questions about that? Anybody? These are the themes. And you would pick a theme for your course, the size and width for the frame, the images that will show up, and the buttons. You can preview them as well. If you're at a course and you want to preview it, again in the action menu that we have over here, you can just hit run course. You're not actually taking the course, you're just looking at it. It has these 4 lessons. You forward through the course. If I wanted to at any point get out of the course without completing it, I would check the middle home button, take me back. As I complete this particular lesson of the course, and doesn't like it when you don't finish the questions, by the way. Once you complete this lesson, it'll show up with a bracket that says completed. It'll have like a open parentheses, a closed parentheses, completed. I can, at this point, could leave this course. It will bookmark that I haven't been here, that I haven't finished it. It'll show that this is completed, and the next time I log in, it'll say, you've completed lesson 1, and then you know to go into lesson 2 and start it. As you complete each one, they have completed out beside them. And for this particular course, once I have completed all 4 lessons, I can take the final test. A lot of people think that because they run through the course and there are questions there and that they answer them, that they're done. Just to let you know, they do have to complete that final test if the button is available on that home screen. It's going to be the same questions I've already run through. It's just it's a quick go through it again to kind of nail it into their head to make sure they know what they're doing. If you notice here, this is the scheduler list widget. This has to do with the instructor that was anyone that's assigned to a class that's an instructor. This is just a reminder to them about this class. It's saying that there's too few students. In other words, the minimum for the class has not been met. And if you click on it, they're able to go in and look at the class and modify any that they are assigned this scheduler tag. Nice little hyperlink kind of thing for instructors to go immediately to their classes if they're in charge of one. Down here you'll notice there's a quick links area. If you're often going, if say this person's been doing a lot with this class and we don't have it on the widget for some reason, and you want to always have a quick link to this because you're going there often, you don't do all the clicks to get there, you can actually hit pin page, give it a name, hit pin page, and it'll actually show up down here so I know how to go quickly back to this class. I've got one already set up for this Mark Shargle person, and it immediately goes to him. If I'm going to him often, I can quickly go there. I don't have to do all this multiple clicks to get there. And if I was tired of it, didn't need it any longer, or the class is passed, I could just hit the little trash can and the pin page is no longer there. Don't have to worry about it. Everybody still doing okay? Any questions?
Doing well.
Does it bookmark when you have to leave in the middle of a lesson?
Yes. It puts a cookie on you in your browser. So if you do clear your browser cookies, it's not going to remember it. But as long as you don't clear your cookies, it'll bring you back to that location that you last were at.
Which brings me to a question. You say you have multiple users on a given workstation or a thin client like we have, and you have multiple users wouldn't be able to bookmark them, would they? Because the cookies associated with the computer. Is that not correct?
They're gonna log in under their username.
Right.
And it's going to bookmark it for that username.
Okay, so it will bookmark for individual users.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Do any of y'all ever have courses that you want them to have the ability to go and look at and use, but not necessarily be assigned to them? They
Yeah,
just
that's
have the
my
ability.
question.
Okay. Let me show you the electives catalog. If you go to a course, one of the options once you create it is, let me get there. You see this little check mark says elective? You would, if that is checked, it will be a part of what we call the electives catalog, which is over here in your action menu. They click on the electives catalog, it'll bring up any of these courses that you consider that they just need access to if they ever want to go through the information. It breaks it down by the category type, and they can click on it and run through the course at any given time if they just want to run through it.
So if someone has a desire to just look through the curriculum, what's out there, unless it's been assigned to them, the only way they're going to be able to see that is if it is an elective. Is that correct?
Either that, or if you have a way of giving them the URL to that actual course. But this would be the easiest way.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't want everything to be an elective?
There's some, we have some customers that don't want everybody to see certain courses, so yeah. BASF has like site-specific courses that they don't want another site to see. Yeah. At BASF they do corporate courses that everybody can see and is typically on their electives catalog, but the site-specific are not on the electives catalog and not everyone can see.
So if it's elective, then anybody in the system can see it at any time.
Right.
Would that include Pine Bluff would be able to see anything that Canton has and vice versa?
No, just in their particular group. You have them, yours is set up as two different, almost like companies. So they're not going to see each other unless they share it with one another, which let me go through sharing real quick. Because y'all might have that situation, and you can do that. I don't want to make it seem like you can't. Say you want Pine Bluff to see something that you have, you go in here to shares, add a share, and this is actually, if I had two companies in here, you could pick the Pine Bluff location, add it, save it, and at that point, it allows them to assign it to people, but they can't edit the course. Does that make sense? So if they go in and they want to add it to a group, it'll be an option for them to add to a group, but if they went to this content and courses, it would not be in their course library. It's a singly where they can see it to assign it, but not to actually edit it. So you have the ability to share across companies. In your case, Pine Bluff and Canton are two different companies in our lingo. And that's done through the share button under the course. If you wanted to see all the users that are directly assigned it, you could go to this tab as well. I don't think I went over that prior. Anybody have any more questions about courses or classes? No? I thought we'd go over reporting for just a minute. It's going to be over here in your action menu. I know y'all had questions about it earlier. If you're an administrator, this will pop up over here on your right-hand side. Depending on what kind of administrator, depends on what's going to pop up over here for your administrators. Your typical user, when they log in, they're going to have the ability to do reporting on themselves. That's what all these are going to be on the left-hand side. A user can actually go in and set up, as well as an administrator. And you can say, I want to know what I've passed within a certain range, within a certain score, date. You can say if you only want to do summary information, say I took 3 courses. If you want to print row numbers, or subtotals or averages, that you want to know what the average of all your courses are. You would check these, and it remembers the last time you went in to do a report, it will automatically have that selected if you asked the last time you did it. So you don't have to know to uncheck it if you don't want that for the next report. You have the ability to have it go to screen or HTML to a PDF or to an export, which is a
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a video, a DVD video. Mr. Dave Rathbone has been filming this. It'll be available in the office probably in the next week or so. So stop by the office if you want a video of the program.
It's not big. Off the stage, please. Come on.